Okay, Conrad, we are live. Let me just put up the banner on the screen. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Wall Street Reporter's Next Superstock, a live stream for today, January 6, 2021. We have with us a returning superstock. Or actually, it's not quite a superstock yet because it's only been up like 7x. We need 100x before it becomes an official superstock. So we have a lot of work to do here. So again, we have ESE Entertainment. We first introduced this a month ago, almost at around a quarter. The stock hit a high of $1.97. We're back in an area where the company is ready to start the next big wave up. Conrad Vasella is the CEO. Conrad, welcome back.
Thanks, Jack. Love being on the show, and Happy New Year's to you and to all the viewers.
Happy New Year to you. Let's see if this is going to be the breakout year for ESE. I know you got a lot of exciting things. So I guess for today, the format is going to be we're going to have you do like a little presentation, and then we'll open up for Q&A. Because I know that you got a lot to talk about. We'll probably have you back maybe in a week from now, because I don't think we'll have time to answer all the questions. But so for anybody that's new tuning into our program, our goal with Wall Street Reporter's Next Superstock live stream is to bring you those companies which we believe have that 10x to 100x upside potential. So these are companies going after multi-billion-dollar market opportunities. They have multiple catalysts in place, and they're at a key inflection point, right at the threshold of that explosive growth. I think watching the presentation, you'll agree that ESE meets those three criteria. So watch the presentation, ask your questions. That's the main thing, is to ask your questions to Conrad, and decide for yourself if ESE is that next superstock. So with that said, Conrad, let me get your slides up and take it away.
All right, guys. So I'm Conrad Wasela, founder and CEO of ESE Entertainment, listed on the TSX.V under symbol ESE, OTC, QB, ENTEF. Recently listed August, and we'll run through some core highlights here. So just quickly, executive summary: we're a world-class esports infrastructure company. Core business lines are technology and gaming franchise as it pertains to technology. We have a digital tournament software, e-commerce, and simulation racing technology. Gaming franchise, we pursue media rights globally and own media rights globally. Professional esports team, and we own and manage leagues. Quick investment highlights here. This is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity, and we have first mover advantage in Europe, and it's still wide open for consolidation. It's a diversified business model, scalable through technology in our gaming franchise. Once again, exceptional market opportunity. It's a mega trend, multi-billion-dollar opportunity here, and we have an extremely strong management team that I'll touch on today with 10 plus years track record in the industry. So the opportunity: there is no dominant infrastructure company powering esports. There's fragmented channels, lack of standardization, lack of permanent digital and physical infrastructure, and it's just difficult to manage global broadcasting and advertising channels. So what's the solution? ESE is the solution. A world-class esports infrastructure company where we have software for events and tournaments. We have physical infrastructure and broadcasting capabilities. We have existing global distribution for esports related content, and we're building a huge tier 1 sponsorship partnership program, and we have tier 1 advertising. And we have a growing gaming franchise that includes professional teams, and we're expanding that globally. So recent milestones: we just closed our financing, 3.6 million Canadian, just at the end of the year. Something to note here, guys: all our directors of the company invested personally into this round. Myself, I invested in this round, and also invested for the third time in 2020 and 2021, and we are now recapitalized and positioned for growth. We're very healthy and ready to really explode for 2021. So let's highlight our gaming franchise, Kick. So we completed this acquisition of Kick. It's a gaming franchise that's involved in Apex Legends, Rocket League, League of Legends, FIFA, and the game Assetto Corsa. Those are all our professional teams that we compete in for tournament winning and prize pool winnings. And we also have wholly owned and managed leagues where we generate revenues via setup fees and entry fees. So to build on Kick, we just signed our partnership with Nuve. Nuve is one of the largest payment systems for the betting, gambling, and gaming space globally. And we are partnered with them to power their esports segment. As you can see, there's a nice quote from Philip, the CEO and chairman of Nuve. We have huge plans in place to work collectively to increase revenues, increase profit margins, and build out Nuve's brand as well as Kick's brand globally. And there's no better way to do that than them being our title sponsor. And they're going to be, as you can see in the photo, they're going to be right across our chest this year for all our esports and gaming teams and events. So upcoming growth catalysts. This is where I get absolutely fired up. We've been working day and night diligently over the past 12 months to find and source accretive opportunities throughout Europe and Asia. Our M&A pipeline is stronger than ever, especially positioned now with our share price. We've been receiving phone calls and a lot of interest from other big groups. So there's a lot of synergies and a lot of opportunities popping up. And we are literally deciphering what next opportunity to chase and secure. But more importantly, we want to maintain the mindset of keeping the share structure tight and always keeping in mind the fundamentals of the business, accretive opportunities, share structure, primed for growth. Those are going to be the core focuses of the acquisition targets. Completion of the acquisition of WPG, to build on what I just mentioned. This acquisition is very important to highlight. What it does is it puts us in a position to work with the largest organization in motorsports in the world, working with the world's largest esports company, and it's going to produce 12.5+ million Canadian in revenues in 2021. Once again, great structure. We structured this deal strategically to keep in mind all shareholders. We limited dilution. And quite frankly, the group that we're dealing with understands the upside, and they're willing to keep the structure tight, limit dilution, because they know we're primed for growth and ready to explode in 2021. And they're willing to come into this, build on the synergistic business that we have and they have, and really take it to the next level. Another key highlight is building out our simulation racing business unit. This is very important for us. As you guys know or don't know, we signed a deal with Porsche last year. We will be working with them again this year in 2021. We have some exciting news in the pipeline that's coming up where you'll see the other motorsport companies that we're working with, and I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised. What we realize is there's a massive upside here. It's a great way to expand revenues and build on profit margins. We believe in some cases margins are 30% plus, and we think we could even increase those margins. So we really want to pursue this full steam ahead. And we already have deals in place for Q1, Q2 this year, and we're just going to be pushing and pushing in that sector. And then expand the esports teams and leagues business. So I want to add in the fact that we're always pursuing media rights. So digital media rights both locally and globally. Those opportunities are primed right now. I brought it up before. It's really a time for consolidation and acquiring these media rights, similarly to 20, 30 years ago. Imagine if you had the opportunity to get NHL or NFL or NBA media rights. I believe it's the same opportunity here for esports, and we're going to be actively pursuing that. I think it's a multi-billion-dollar opportunity in itself. And then we're going to be expanding into new games with our teams. And once again, this will help us expand revenue from our teams and our technology platform. Comparables. This always gets me excited. ESE, we're still a ground floor opportunity. You look at the comparables, you see the score at 725 million market cap. You see EGLX at 460 million market cap. I mean, this is a tremendous opportunity. This is a billion-dollar opportunity, and we are laser focused to be in the same conversations with those groups, and in my opinion, surpass them. So capital structure and overview. This is as of yesterday. We closed at $1.33 Canadian. Once again, 50 million market cap, huge upside. We're primed to grow and really take off in 2021. Insider holdings roughly 50%. Shares out is 38.6 million. Once again, guys, very tight structure and primed for growth. And we're going to keep it that way through our entire plan for 2021. So I think that's about it, guys. For now, I would love to do some Q&A and get Jack back on and just kind of highlight what we just spoke about and talk about this great opportunity.
Okay. Connor, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. We got a new mic, so just always got to check. Last night it wasn't working.
You're always evolving, getting better every year.
I need to keep up with ESE. Speaking of which, Connor, what's the you keep mentioning the the motorsports organization like a couple of times. Like who is this? You said it's the largest in the world. Are you talking about Indy 500, Formula 1? Who are you working with?
Unfortunately, I can't release that, but the viewers are smart. Do a little bit of research. The world's largest motorsport company is easy to find online.
Oh. Okay. Is it run by like a short guy in London?
I don't know, but they don't partner with anybody. Let's put it that way. And to even be considered for that opportunity is tremendous. And we're going to be doing it in 2021. So don't wait. This is something that we're going to be doing.
Okay. Let's jump into some questions. This is actually an interesting question. Ulrich is asking, are you planning to list on the Frankfurt Exchange?
Yeah, we considered it, but we'll see. It's not a priority as of right now. We really want to focus on building the business and focus on the creative acquisitions. But we will definitely look into that, and our team will look into that opportunity.
It's interesting because I mean, I don't usually think for every stock, but I think like in your case for ESE, it actually would be. I think you could get a whole new wave of buying because I don't think the Europeans are very into the esports. It's a theme that they'd be into. You're already in Poland right now, right? You have a big operation there, so that could be interesting. I know we're probably gonna. I mean, speaking of Frankfurt, people are probably going to be asking, uplisting plan. I mean, I guess there's always uplisting plans for
Well, yeah, and to be honest, we work in Germany quite a bit as well. We have some collaborations in Germany, and obviously partnerships with Porsche go a long way in Germany. I mean, that's one of the most valued brands in the world, and something that German market really values.
Okay. Piotr, I think this is guys from the home country. Conrad, do you have any plans to expand into Dota or CS? Can you share some details on new games expansion?
Great question, and dzień dobry, Piotr. So CSGO, absolutely. we're already in the process of looking into that. We just need to find the right team at the right time. We want to, when we go into that game, specifically CS or Dota or COD, I see another question here. We want to be one of the top teams in the world. So we're going to be very strategic about that. And it's just a timing thing. It's inevitable, but it's something we definitely want to do, and we're going to pursue someone that's top 25 in the world for sure.
Okay. What do you have any plans to acquire other esports teams?
That's not really a core focus for us. We have a phenomenal team, an entire ecosystem with Kick. If you research Kick a little bit, it's really interesting. They've been in the industry for 20 plus years. Pedro, the CEO, he's actually built world champions in CSGO. You know, his former players started G2 Esports. His background speaks for itself. The guy's a living legend, and we're glad to have him. And we kind of lean towards him to, you know, to kind of expand or push into different sectors.
A lot of people talking about McLaren. Are you doing anything with McLaren?
Ironically, we are actually. We did some stuff with McLaren in 2020, but would love to do more of them in 2021. That's for sure.
Okay, so we got Daniel saying that. So it seems like the motorsports is like a big theme or a big part of your focus at the moment there.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's a tremendous opportunity. I mentioned the margins. It's phenomenal, 30+% margins on our activations and deals that we do with the motorsport companies. And quite frankly, they all want to enter the space. You know, how do you engage with the new generation, Gen X, and promote new cars and promote, you know, that entire kind of generation to what they're doing next? It's just, they have to do it, right? They have to be involved with esports and gaming and that entire ecosystem. And we're actually going to pursue, you know, a lot of different deals with different automotive companies. I would love to work with Tesla. Elon, if you're listening, we want to do something with you, man. Let's go.
David is asking, this is actually a very interesting question. Because so what are you most excited about for 21? Like what is going to be the big theme of 2021? I know we're only a month into it, but what is,
revenue. I am hyper focused on revenue. I'm a broken record. Revenue and fundamentals, that's what's going to get us to $1 billion market cap. And that's what we're hyper focused on. And so to simply put it, the most thing I'm excited about is a breakout year getting to $1 billion market cap, but I understand that fundamentally we need revenue. So let's hammer the revenue. We're bringing in 12.5 plus million anticipated from our acquisition with WPG. We want to scale that fast. That's what's going to get us to everywhere that I need to get. So let's focus on fundamentals of the business. Let's keep it tight, and that's going to get all my goals covered.
Okay. So Andreas is asking, so when will ESE hit 100 million in revenue? You're gonna have a 12 plus, whatever it is, run rate shortly.
Yeah. I think, we anticipate to have 12.5 plus million revenue this year and growing fast with synergies. We could use 100 million as a goal, but we don't have a timeline on that. But our goal is revenue, and absolutely we do want to hit 100 million, but I can't give you the answer to that, when that will be.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, media rights. Question about media rights, the esports. So I don't know, is it Jack or Jack? He's asking, can you expand on what it means to acquire global media rights and what the revenue model looks like? How much money is there in media rights for ESE?
So it really depends on what type of media rights we're discussing, whether it's content, exclusive digital media rights from the actual gaming publisher, or acquiring a new territory for a gaming publisher. and handling all their media rights in that specific region or country. Long story short, to simplify it, what we've seen through deals that we've done in the past, typically, if you have the digital media rights from the gaming publisher, secured, exclusive, you can then have about a 3x to 5x multiple on sponsorship and future revenue growth versus if you did it without the digital media rights. So that's kind of the baseline that we use right now, the metric that we use right now. But it's a little bit more of a complex question that has some variables as it pertains to region, country, etc.
Okay. Let's see here. Somebody's asking about Valorant. You doing anything with Valorant?
You know what? Not yet. We actually did a little bit with Valorant last year with our online tournament platform, and that was in Southeast Asia. But it's not a focus because we're heavily committed to the game League of Legends already, and we have a great partnership with Riot. That's why I could see them asking why not join into the Valorant conversation. But we just want to build out the League of Legends team right now and get into tier 1 as fast as possible.
Jordan's asking, can you talk about Sony Music? What's happening there?
Sony's great. We did 2 activations last year. So an activation just means, we had 2 kind of celebrity gaming streams with them last year, and we're looking to build on that. But it was really cool. Our last one we did with Elias Pettersson of the Vancouver Canucks. So he's an NHL superstar, with some of the Sony music stars as well, some hip hop artists. And I think we're going to be doing a lot more of that in the future.
Okay. Andrews is asking, I guess maybe he wants you to clarify, like, you have multiple revenue streams. So, maybe I think we need to have a slide next time which just lists all the different revenue streams, because it's not just one thing. So is it winning sponsorships, winning is labeled, give us the whole list.
Yeah, I mean, so as it pertains to Kick, there's digital media rights, right? The professional esports team. So when you have the professional esports teams, you have winnings from tournaments, you have sponsorship deals, you have live streaming as well, you have e-commerce sales, so you sell merchandise and swag. And then we're actually stepping in with Nuve a little bit into the fintech payment side as well. And there's going to be some kind of, programs that we have in place with them to increase revenues as well. So it's multi-tiered, and there's tremendous opportunities to grow revenues, in several different segments there.
Okay. Okay. So Dean is asking, who's your biggest competitor in the industry? I think, and what are you doing? Okay. So I guess, I think we should bring up, I don't think we even talked about it this time, is, the valuation of esports teams, the upside in that market. Because I think that's one of the, because again, you have right now, I think inside of ESE, you really have, I always like companies which have multiple shots on goal. They have multiple catalysts for creating value. So just the esports team can have really tremendous value. So can you actually talk about that? Give us some comps, and that kind of leads me backwards and lead back up. How many shares are outstanding now after the financing? What's going to be the fully diluted now?
Well, after the financing and after the acquisition, we anticipate, to stay roughly under 50 million shares outstanding. So remember, that's including the financing and the acquisition. So we're still very healthy, very tight, and once again primed for growth.
What could the Kick be worth? I mean, as a standalone business. I mean, and where can you take the valuation? And give our audience some kind of, for comparison, some of the multiples, the valuations in the space.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Forbes just came out with an article at the end of 2020 valuing the esports teams, and they highlighted the big groups like Cloud9, FaZe Clan, T1, etc. And it's really interesting because that's $1 billion opportunity in itself. They're valuing those groups upwards of 400 or 500 million US dollars, and that's now. There's still huge upside. These groups could be worth billions in the future in a hyper growth sector like esports and gaming. There's only upside there. So where does that put Kick? That's our goal, is to get onto that Forbes list in 2021 and to be in the conversation and be worth potentially a few hundred million. And who knows, right? In the future, this is such a hyper growth market. I really believe this is the next wave of pro sports. I played professional sports myself. You see the valuation. The New York Mets sold for several billion. The Golden State Warriors, several billion. All these pro sports teams, the Dallas Cowboys, they're all worth billions of dollars. Why can't esports be the same? I think it will be, and I think there's more upside. It's a global play.
More viewers.
Yeah, it's a global play. It just makes logical sense that once you build that tier 1 brand globally and you could participate in more games, more countries with less restriction and regulation, I mean, I'm all in. Obviously, this is $1 billion opportunity just on that segment alone.
Yeah, so there's right now, I keep reading that there's more viewers for esports than there are for professional sports right now. So, that's really where things are moving.
It tells you everything. You look at platforms like Discord, they're built for gamers. These are groups that are built for gamers. Twitch, same thing, live streaming for gamers, chat rooms for gamers. These are multi-billion, $10, $20 billion companies basically overnight because of the power of this sector. And it's going to be the same. If you're outperforming viewership, guess where all the sponsorship money is going to shift to? Guess where all the viewership is going to shift to? Guess where all the commercials, everything, it's all going to shift, and the media rights, it's all going to shift to esports and gaming to cater to the next generation, Gen Z, etc. That's the opportunity. If the Super Bowl is getting outperformed by, Fortnite tournaments, where do you think the money's going to go? Coca-Cola and Red Bull and everyone's going to say, I'm not spending $100 million for a 30-second commercial. I'm going to jump on the League of Legends tournament or this tournament or Dota or CSGO and 10x my money because I'm going to have 10 times the viewers.
Yeah, I think one of the recent earnings calls from DraftKings, I think it was the CEO said that he's expecting betting on esports to become huge. Like maybe, I don't want to say outpace professional sports, but it could potentially. If you kind of read between the lines, he's expecting esports to be, let's call it very big.
Well, and one thing to highlight here, Jack, what's COVID proof?
Right.
And if I'll tell you one thing I don't have the answer for is, when's this whole COVID situation going to settle down? Nobody knows, but it does not affect esports. Esports is going on an upward trajectory. So it just makes sense.
Okay, so I guess Dunks asking thoughts on the heavy competition in esports, TSM, Cloud9. Any plan on differentiating yourself, growing a brand that fans will eventually admire? That's the branding. What are you going to do to build a brand?
Well, I think we already have a very solid following, but it's getting that following to grow in other countries and getting that global recognition. We know a lot of those groups. We work with them. It's actually funny you mentioned G2 and Cloud9. When our superstar Pookie, League of Legends player, he went viral last year, all those groups that you mentioned were reposting him and tagging him in photos. So there's definitely momentum. People know who we are. The founder of G2 Esports is actually a former player of the CEO of Kick. So nice little trivia question there.
Conrad, you know what I always find interesting about this whole thing with sports teams, whatever, is that the all of a sudden all you need is just one good a good season or whatever it is, and and all of a
Oh yeah.
sudden you win it's the valuation is completely transformed. I remember like it used to be like the LA Clippers was always like considered like nobody even knew who they
Yeah.
were, and it's or even the Sacramento. You have all these teams that can come out of nowhere. Like one day they're like number 50 or whatever, and next thing you know they're worth $3 billion.
And that's the exciting part about esports. There's more players and more talent coming out all the time. We're always looking for talent. I used the example of Pookie. He went viral. It was instant, right? He went on a big run in the European Championships for League of Legends, and boom, he's everywhere. All those big groups, those Forbes top 10 list groups are reposting him, talking about him. It literally happens that fast. And I think being in the position for that to happen is the most important thing. And we've created that. We have the infrastructure now. We have the team in place. Now we could leverage those opportunities. So when we do go viral again, or we do find a superstar player, you're on a rocket ship. Like you said, you can become the next big thing.
Yeah, I mean it's there's a lot of optionality in this space you're in. So I mean it's one of these things where like again it could be like literally overnight this thing could be worth $1 billion. Why not? I mean you have esports teams. So okay, so I want to kind of wrap up. We're running running a little bit out of time. I'm gonna have you back on. I think maybe probably in the next 10 days. I think we're gonna have you back. We're gonna have for like extended Q&A, but. You mentioned, M&A, you have an M&A pipeline. So can you kind of talk about like what kind of companies, are you talking to? What kind of companies are approaching you right now? Like what, maybe, you want to give us a hint, like what areas they're in? Maybe size of revenues, if you can talk about that. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, we could definitely highlight that. I think the core focus, once again, is accretive, generating big revenues. And we want to really hyper focus on technology this time around. I think it's really important because that's where the scale is going to happen. And I mentioned, COVID and etc. We want to be COVID proof. We want to be in the hyper growth phase. So we want only accretive acquisitions. I think 10 plus million Canadian revenues is kind of a nice baseline. But we want bigger stuff. We want to go big. If something makes sense, maybe we'll roll up a couple and create even more revenue. But we want to. This is the year, 2021. We're not messing around. None of our staff took holidays. I didn't take any time off. I've been grinding the whole time. We start our season for Kick in 2 weeks. We're getting through due diligence and finalizing definitive agreements with acquisitions as we speak. We're not messing around. We're going big. We want to focus on tech, accretive, and big revenues.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, right now, once you have this acquisition closed, you're going to have 12 million plus run rate. So the company's actually the valuation is only what are you trading 5 times revenues roughly. It's still very reasonable for a high for a high growth company, especially in this space. So it's actually you could almost say you're undervalued right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you answered your own question there.
I think Dalen is asking how much cash do you have on hand now after the financing, and how will you be deploying it?
So as I mentioned, we just recapitalized, so we closed our financing at 3.6 million, but we actually have more than that in the till, roughly around 3.8 million Canadian currently.
Okay. So just a few more questions here. Okay, so Dunk's asking thoughts on esports LAN events coming back after COVID. Any plans to approach this massive opportunity? Fans definitely looking forward to attending events.
I join you in that. I would love to go to a live event again, and our team and fans are itching to get back to those events. Absolutely. The great thing about our team is, and if you look at our, corporate team, our directors in Europe, they're actually traditionally from, that tournament background. So when those things do turn on, that's going to be like a cherry on top of the cake, a nice revenue boost for us, and we'll turn that on immediately. We have the infrastructure in place from A to Z for live tournaments. So, man, would I be excited to get back into that? Absolutely, because it's just going to boost revenues, and it's another $1 billion opportunity that's going to be right in our laps.
Okay, no, it's there's again, multiple shots on goal. Okay, kind of. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up. Just two things. What kind of again, we're just starting the 21 right now. What kind of news flow can we expect in this coming quarter? Like what major milestones can we look forward to?
Big news. Once again, closing the definitive agreement, securing those big revenues on the books, pursuing these accretive acquisitions and getting new LOIs signed and showing how active we are and how fast we move and closing deals. And then news as it pertains to partnerships, we already have stuff in the pipeline. It's coming. So you guys will see that when I'm on the show next. We'll definitely be discussing some more news. That's for sure.
Okay. Conrad, last question, our favorite question here at the Wall Street Reporter. You know what it is probably already. Top 3 reasons why investors should consider ESE right now.
Number one, you have to understand this is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. Do not wait. It's happening right now. And we're in the thick of it, in the biggest market, Europe and Asia. Number two, we're primed. This is a ground floor opportunity to get into ESE right before it really takes off. 2021 is our year, and we're going big. Number three, everything's in place. The infrastructure is in place. We created this business to create a core foundation where the infrastructure is rock solid, because you know what that means? It's go time. So now we just turn on the gas, 2021, execute the plan, and we're off to the races.
Excellent. Okay. Conrad, on that note, I want to thank you, and we look forward to hearing more from ESE in the coming days, maybe. Not even weeks, maybe the days.
Like I said, we always got news. It's coming.
Conrad, thank you very much.
Likewise. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.